So here we are with episode 1 of The Demon Girl Next Door Season 2. I expect more lore and more character development throughout this season. I hope to see more Mikan in this season as well. Hopefully to get even like just an episode or two mainly focused on her. At the very least, we'll just have to see how this all goes. If you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have my full length up on Patreon and early access to non-seasonal and some seasonal shows on the YouTube memberships. But other than that, let us get started. Is this the fantasy land of their... No, the... Oh, we're starting directly from... Okay, we're starting directly from season 1. Which is very funny. There's like a 4-year gap in between the anime. Winch. Much more jazzy this time around, huh? It's just a cat girl. Okay, still from the same mission, Shami Momo. I don't know if I get a bit of a vibe of how I feel about the season 2 opening of Eurocamp. Are we just having a technically like a recap? Just casually tells that to your teacher. Alright, let's not. Thank you, teacher. Well, Vassal is like a friend for life, right? Yeah, so we're getting it a different perspective. It's just longer. Azaze. Well, how do you know what... Oh my god, we're having a change. Literally just the clothes on your fucking back right now. Oh, she's supposed to duel. We need to do something to pass the time before we duel. Oh my god. Oh, those cats. Damn, dude. That cat just jumped right into her arm. Just... You're not impressed? Oh, she pulled a double. Understandable. Oh! Yeah, we're supposed to be out here to fight! Why did I even get dressed up? Damn! Oh my god! Oh my god, it was just an illusion this whole time? What's the point of stripping Mikan then? Oh damn, she's just out here. We should go on dates more often. Oh, we're gonna buy matching... Oh, just buy her a... Just love the way her tail just wraps around. You are now my property. Just by buying some dark clips? Alright. By occasional duels, you mean like dates, right? Well, you got a little gift from your girl space friend. Good, let's just leave Lilith there for the rest of the fucking summer vacation. Oh. Oh, Mikan's coming on over to... here? Or... ah, it's because of the spell, right? She didn't invite her. With a retro feel. I guess she didn't want to... yeah. Complicated approval process. Damn, real quick. Light or dark discount? I'm just over here like, I guess Momo kicked her out. They're all very cute clothes. Understandable. Okay. But a little careless. Yeah, she's in particles somewhere in the air. She's nothing like Momo. Some stylish wallpaper. Damn, we're gonna help her out too? A housewarming gift? I guess that's from the manga panel. Well, at least we're shiny and clean now. How would you know? How do wow. It feels so nice when Momo is in here, huh? Praise me more. You have a game console? Momo's just here. Thanks for the invite. Coupon for free rice. Now you get to hang out with Yuko all the time, huh? Oh shit. Oh what? Wow. Wow. Sandwich between two magical girls. Uh, uh, Mikansi? Is that what it was? Momo. She's just... Don't you want her to... Fucking the salesman got her. Oh, okay, that's a lot. Jesus Christ. But what about the rice? To gaze upon... I want you to look at it. Oh, the new refrigerator. Damn. She's chopping on the daddy box. It's durable, yeah. Wow, purifies all filth within 3 minutes. She's got the opposite of Midas touch. You think needs to be... Ah! Ah! Don't let her help. Oh my god, all the fucking citrus. A perfectionist? Yeah, the ancestor statue is so much more expressive. Oh my god, the fucking cows, dude. And its ancestors. Dude, she has like a whole fucking, sorry, not a whole, half of a lemon. She's about to squeeze the entire thing in there. Ooh. I'm still going to... Wow. There's that one part where I was just like, why does that look like the LGBT flag? Interested to see this cat girl, though. What's the box in it? I would assume that's Sakura. Oh, you know, opening and ending probably will take, I don't know, a few episodes, half of the series for me to, like, get used to it. But yeah, as I mentioned with how, like, the opening of this opening kind of gives me the same feeling as how I feel with the season 2 of Eurocamp, where it's just kind of like, okay, you know, I have that feeling where, like, I certainly liked the first opening a lot better, but I don't know, right? Usually, if I feel like this, not usually, but sometimes when I feel like this, it might end up changing as we continue on, but we'll just have to see. And the same feeling goes for, like, this ending as well, but, well, we'll just have to see how I feel towards the end of season 2, huh? But until then, I'm going to write my notes, and we will be right back to the center. Okay, I couldn't get to reading the actual dialogue between Mikan and Yuko, but I love that. Where she's just like, for some reason I'm feeling a chill on my shoulders. This room must have been cursed before I even got here. No, it's because you don't cover your shoulders. And the walls are very thin too, so like if they could just hear them from across from this room, right? Holy crap! Like just imagine like it gets cold and wintry here. Damn, dude. Mikan's gonna need to like at least buy some jackets or something. Man, I think what they showcase here, right, it might be a sauce for sukiyaki, but I know that one other way that they do it for this is with, like, just cracking an egg, right, and just having it like that, and they just dip it in the egg sauce, which is just, fantastic, dude. There's nothing I love more than just dipping beef in, like, a fucking, like, just fucking raw egg, you know, just punch that yolk and just mix it all up. It's that nice little, like, yellowish looking sauce, because, you know, the yolk has been mixed in with the white. Oh, dude, so good. Alright, so that was episode 1 of season 2 of The Demon Girl Next Door. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good opener for season 2. We started directly after what had happened in the last season. As I mentioned during the reaction, I thought it was very funny that, you know, it kind of starts off like this, but also it kind of gives you a little bit of a recap on what exactly happened in the last episode of season 1. And I think there's like a gap between like 3 or 4 years, somewhere around there between season 1 and season 2. So very fun. And so because of that, I don't really need to talk too much about the beginning sequence with Momo and Yuko having this little misunderstanding. We've got this opening that I'm not particularly going to talk about. I'll just continue looking at it, and then I'll end up looking at the lyrics as well after I feel like I've looked at it enough. And so, as I was saying, right, in the beginning, they're continuing with this, except they kind of expanded on this because we kind of just saw it as something that was very, it was very quick and short, and it kind of just got us right there to the end of season 1. It was just like, okay, that's done, right? But the one thing that I did want to point out is just the way that they say the teacher's name. I don't really remember if they mentioned her name before, or if I've just never really paid attention to it, but her name is Azaze, and when I was looking at it, I was just like, Azaze, like Azazel, like the demon? Whether that's just a low reference, or it's just so happens to be a coincidence, which I would assume not, since we're really just out here talking about demons and such, bro. So the idea of having someone's name close to Azazel could be that, you know, could just be a reference, and there doesn't really need to be anything else to say about that. So thought that was really nice. That reminds me, Azaze did tell Yuko the meaning of mistress. And Yuko, being the very much the innocent and naive child, is just over here like, holy shit, this is what mistress meant this whole time? I feel so humiliated. And since you say it like that, Yuko, does that mean that your mom humiliated you? Because she's the one who fucking registered that name for you. But this takes us on over to the duel/date. Could be both at the same time, I suppose. In the beginning of this duel/date, Momo is just trying to find places for them to pass the time, hang out, you know, have their little date, and Yuko's just over here like, I didn't realize that we had to pass time before we duel, but alright. Out here on a date in my gym wear. Very nice. But eventually Yuko comes out and she's just like, WTF, it says, you know, I'm just out here trying to go on a duel. We see Momo feeling very sad. She's over like, oh, I'm sorry for being a, what is she called herself? A peachy keen jelly bean. I'm ashamed at myself, that's what she says. the girl who's very much a pessimist and is the person who often has a lot more dark thoughts than the demon girl herself. She's over like, I can't believe the one time I actually have some sort of positive notes. It wasn't what it's not true. It wasn't what I expected, you know, this I feel sad for even getting my hopes up. Relatable. As we have this whole spiel, we've got Yuko who, she feels sorry about this, right? She feels guilty for having this misunderstanding with Momo in the first place, right? Momo was very excited for this date, and here's Yuko coming in to ruin it by saying that she actually wanted to duel this whole time, that they were supposed to fight, and as I wrote in my notes, that this part is, and especially with like the whole duel/date thing, it's very gay coded, very fun. I mean, you can kind of see it just burst out of the seams in the last episode of season 1. Where they're out here just holding hands with one another, and Momo saying like, you know, you'll stay with me forever, somewhere around there. Very gay. And I just love the way that they're continuing to utilize Yuko's tail. So I really like here in this part, she's just out here, not only is she grabbing Momo, her tail is wrapping around her as well, and we see that little jolt right here to show the little stress that she's feeling. Very fun. Again, she wears her feelings on her tail. And then here's this part. This is the part exactly where I kind of just put my time code and I just said very gay coded. Right here in this part, she's holding onto her wrist, but not her hand. But then you also see her tail, kind of like it's not wrapped around, but it's definitely like pointing around her shoulder. Very fun, very very gay, but also not gay at the same time. All right. And speaking of this non-date that they're on, they go to this cute little shop. Yuko ends up buying this nice little hairpin for Momo, and Momo appreciates the gifts because she doesn't really, as what Azaze says, Momo could really use having more friends, which is very funny because like Azaze, I assume she would be the homeroom teacher for Yuko, but she's just over here like, whether I suddenly I can't remember how like the whole teaching class goes for students. Maybe she does go about teaching like a certain period with Momo and that's why she knows, but I thought it was very fun that Momo, Azaze was just over here like, yeah, you know, Momo does need more friends. So like she does know like other students outside of her class and such. Anyways, yeah, Momo, who definitely needs more friends, is very happy that she's got a gift from her, mortal enemy. But, you know, mortal enemy, as I've said, you know, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. I think they're taking this a little too seriously. But I do like that here we have dual thoughts with Momo being happy at the gift and Yuko's just over here like, fucking got ya! And you don't even realize, but I've corrupted your pure look with something dark. Very fun. And so Yuko says maybe we should have more occasional duels out here, and by occasional duels, I assume dates. So, could be, you know, multi-purpose. So here they are having going to be on more dates. How good for them. And so in the next scenario, we've got more Mikan. As I was talking about in the beginning, I hope to see more Mikan, and here she is, more Mikan, more context about Mikan. Fantastic, dude, fantastic. And here we see Mikan moving into Banda Terrace, and apparently, should have expected it. According to what she says, there is a light or dark discounts of 120 yen a month. And 120 yen in English, that is, in English, in US dollars, I mean, it's like not even $1. That's like, is it less than $1? Somewhere, I would say 120 would be like $1.20, but the yen to USD isn't exactly 1-to-1 anymore. 80 cents. That's what it is. 80 cents. Holy shit, dude. That's Yuko's just over here like, whoa, what is this? A student discount? This is way more than a fucking student discount. Jesus Christ, dude. Like 80 cents a month? I mean, I would say this is no wonder Banda Terrace is so fucking run down, because y'all don't charge your people enough for the maintenance, but hey, you know what? They get what they paid for, right? And so we learn the reason why Mikan wants to move away from Momo. I was initially thinking, like, I don't know, I guess Momo kind of did want to, because, like, in the beginning when Mikan came in, she's just like, hey, I'm gonna live with you, and Momo's just like, you know, I remember she was a little against it, but, you know, they ended up living together anyway. It's not like Momo was just gonna fucking kick her out. She's the one who told her to come here in the first place. So, initially, that's what I was thinking, but the way that Mikan says, their schedule just doesn't really line up with one another. Momo is very much an early bird, and Mikan isn't relatable. And with what Momo was talking about during the whole Sukiyaki stuff, is that Mikan has this issue, that's what she says, right? Mikan has this issue of putting lemon into everything, or putting citrus into everything. And she doesn't like that. She's just kind of, and she was telling the whole family, the whole Yoshida family about that. And it's just like, look, we're having sukiyaki and I want it to be sweet, alright? I don't want it to be sour. So the both of them very much need to live alone, because they have very different things from each other, and, you know, they're not willing to, for the most part, they're not willing to compromise, and that's why they're splitting up and living apart from one another. And with that, we get to hear a little bit more about Mikan and why she holds Sakura to at a high standard. Although I wonder if hold on. Sakura, I owe somewhat of a debt to both Sakura and Momo. Okay, so she says that, but she doesn't really explain the Momo part. She only talks about Sakura and how when she was young, the curse was a lot worse than it was. Hold on, my sentences. The curse was a lot worse when she was young, but with Sakura's help, it allowed her to ease the curse just a little bit, up to the point where it actually allows her to interact with people. Of course, it still affects them, but the idea of it affecting things, affecting people even worse when she was a kid, that she wouldn't even be able to interact with them. It kind of makes you wonder, like, wow, if this is how her curse is, like, imagine how it was as a child. And, you know, it oddly enough reminds me of Anne Happy. It says comedy anime. I think it might have been 4-Koma as well, but it's a comedy anime that is basically focused on people in a class full of unlucky people, unfortunate people, and our main character is this happy-go-lucky girl, and she has this seal, and it's a pin that's a seal. It's a 4-clover pin, and it seals up all this unfortunate power that she has, and the moment it gets off of her head, extreme unfortune happens. Like, literal earthquakes is going to happen. Like, the earth is going to fucking shatter if somebody doesn't, like, put this pin right back on her. And so I'm just thinking, like, is that maybe it's not on that level of, like, earth shattering, right? Like, or not even earth shattering, maybe just like country shattering. Not really sure if she, that the main character in Anne Happy would shatter the entire earth, but she definitely would have fucked up Japan if, like, if she does not have that seal on her. So I was thinking, maybe it could be like that on that sort of level, and that's why they needed to ease down this curse of hers. Who knows? Who knows? And on the topic of Sakura, Lilith asks what kind of person Sakura is, and Mikan says that Sakura is very pretty and very strong, but a little careless. But because of the way that she is, Mikan isn't really worried that she's missing, because she's definitely alive somewhere. And I love that Lilith is so surprised. She didn't, you know, the way that Mikan describes Sakura, of course, she wouldn't say anything bad about her, because she not owes her life, but she has a debt to Sakura. So of course she's not going to say something bad about Sakura, kind of the same way as she wouldn't really say anything bad about about Momo. And so Lilith somehow just takes this and thinks that, oh my god, Sakura is not the same as Momo, where like she's not going to force me to dance or just fucking throw me throw me into the fucking sky and everything. And this is just Lilith, just like having it just play in her mind. It's just like anything would be better than Momo. Anyways, continue on with Mikan and inside Yuko's thoughts. She thinks about how, despite Mikan always being scared deep down inside, she puts on a brave face because she came to this town to help Yuko despite not even knowing who she was, right? There's this kindness that is within Mikan. She's a coward on the inside, but she the whole idea of like someone who's being a coward but then they still face their fears anyway, that would make them in the end very brave, right? Because the idea of being brave is that you do have that fear but you fight that fear, right? The difference between someone who is brave and someone who is stupid or someone who is careless, right? It's the difference is that, someone who's kind of on the dumb and careless side is that they don't understand that this is a sort of fear that they should be fearing. It is something that they should be scared of. They don't realize that, and that's why they do these things. While somebody who is brave understands that it is a very scary situation, but they swallow that fear and they go through it. And so in terms of that description, Mikan, in her ways, is very brave. And Yuko sees that, and that's why Yuko wants to help Mikan free this curse of hers. It's a heartwarming gift as her neighbor. And I love that as Yuko tells her, it's a heartwarming gift for my new neighbor, she just goes straight into tsundere mode. Fantastic. But we did get that shine on her, which I assume it's her being like, wow, this is really good. But she doesn't want to feel... she's the situational tsundere, right? She doesn't want to feel any sort of strong feelings because that's going to affect Yuko. So here's Mikan's just like, what new neighbor? I'll have you know, I'm escaping from these ruins as soon as possible. Fantastic, dude. Fantastic. And so with the idea of freeing Mikan's curse, Yuko lays out her goals list. 5 things that she needs to do. The first one is find Sakura. Second one is find the demons around town. Third one is undo the seal that's placed on her family. The fourth one is solving the daddy box mix mystery. And the fifth one is turning Momo into her vassal. And of course, this whole thing flies right over Mikan's head, and so Lilith has to take on over. And basically what she says is that, hey, you've got all these stuff. You've got all these stuff on your list, but the top priority is to just find Sakura because, well, Sakura is the person who essentially is the head of this mystery, and by finding her, it's going to help you solve a lot of the other mystery that you need to do. And also with what with Yuko's goal list, right? This is the anime telling us that these are the things that we're going to do, right? The to-do list. And what Lilith was saying, which this is coming from her words, but Sakura is a magical girl who specializes in interfering with curses and barriers, right? By finding her, they will kill a bunch of birds with 1 stone somewhere around there. And as with what Lilith was saying, she rambled off and she kind of went into her little evil streak. And also, we kind of see that she's wearing the clothes that that Mikan was giving to Yuko and such. So that's very nice too. She's just got more clothes added into her arsenal. And also, I love the idea of Lilith continuing to think that Sakura is the type of person who won't bully her. She just hears one thing from Mikan and immediately she's just like, yeah, this is the exact person that Sakura is. She's putting all her eggs into one basket. We don't even know how Sakura is going to be, right? And again, Mikan is looking at it with rose-tinted glasses. We don't know what her actual personality is. Come on now, Lilith. She's just so desperate to get somebody who isn't Momo. But here we have the combination of Lilith, Yuko, and Mikan, and because of this, Lilith ends up getting a lot of praises, right? She's getting all these gifts and such. These people are just telling her that she's doing so good, and she's just like, whoa. I rambled myself off, and I even got a little bit into my evil streak, and yet nobody told me off about it, and instead they're just praising me about this? What am I feeling right now? At the same time, this isn't enough. Very fun, very fun. Lilith out here feeling useful for the first time. That being said, she might feel a little bit more useful if Momo just isn't around to basically keep her in check. When we really think about it, the real rivalry around here is Momo and Lilith. And so we have this definitely not gay scene between Yuko and Mikan. You see with all the fucking sparkles around, and they're just like looking at each other in the eyes and hands touching and everything. Definitely not gay at all. Yuko's out here telling Mikan that she should open up and tell Momo exactly how she feels, which is also something that Mikan ends up telling Momo towards the end, right? Hey, you're talking shit about me to these people? You should tell me first beforehand. You know, you should open up and tell me first before you fucking go around spreading rumors that I like to squeeze lemon into everything. Yuko and Mikan out here having fun. They're about to be great neighbors and all that. And then here comes Momo with a dose of darkness and her very, very big fear. Big fear of FOMO. Which, when you think about it, I just said big fear of missing out. Big FOMO. There you go. She's getting some big FOMO right now. Which, understandable for someone like for someone like Momo. She doesn't really have a lot of friends, and the two set of friends, the two people that she could consider her friends are out here getting along with each other, maybe more so than she is. And so she gets this big case of FOMO, you know, a little bit of TFI out here. It doesn't help that the last time she saw them together, they were out watching a movie without her. That the whole TFI thing that I was mentioning. So she feels a little sad, a little upset about this, but that's honestly just comes from her own sense of insecurity, but you know, whatever. But the reason why Momo came here was because she wanted to buy Seiko a gift as an apology. She bursted into their place without much of an invitation, and so she wants to buy this apology gift. And I love that she's over here talking about like, oh, I thought about buying her a box of cake to formally say hello, but like, I don't really want to buy it in a box because, you know, the daddy box and all that. And it goes back to what I was talking about, the idea of like moving away from like it's not your fault thing. I understand why Momo feels this way, because even though Seiko has told her that like, hey, I use the daddy box for basically everything. I cut on the daddy box. Right? If we spill something on the daddy box, it's just going to clean itself in 3 minutes. And Seiko's totally fine about that, right? She tells Momo, you don't have to worry about it. But Momo, being a person who is outside of this whole situation, it feels a little awkward. That she can't not think about it as just a regular box because their dad is literally sealed in there. Right? Joshua's in this fucking box, and it's just like, okay, it's a little awkward. I mean, Yuko felt the same way too, where she's just like, yeah, I don't know how. She's just like, I've been using this box this whole time, and it's just my dad. So it's an understandable thing, and it's just something that they would have to get used to, and whether they get used to it or not. And also comes with the idea of, well, I'm not exactly your family. Momo, I mean. I'm not exactly your family, so I can't just start using this box like it's just a regular box because it's your family. And then in this part, we see that Momo is feeling very lonely, and Lilith, understanding that, points it out very smugly. And when it comes to Lilith and just like the ancestor statue, the ancestor statue is a lot more expressive in this episode, and I would assume in the rest of the series as well. So I think that's very nice, just to see more facial expression of the ancestor. I really like that. But because of Momo's loneliness, she decides to move into Banda Terrace as well. And so here's the demon girl who has been sandwiched in between two magical girls. For the summer vacation at least, right? Momo says that she's only moving here for the summer vacation. So I guess she's gonna move back to her regular house, to which I'm just over here like, where's the cat? Is the cat taking care of the house, I guess? I don't know, because it seems like Mikan is going to be here a little bit more permanently, until she, needs to move out for whatever reason. But Momo says she's going to only be here for the summer, so whether she actually moves out or not, who knows? But yeah, her FOMO is is running wild, and so here she is. I mean, I would assume she's gotten the same discount, right? Where she's only paying 80 cents a month. Jesus Christ, dude! Imagine paying 80 cents a month for an apartment. Oh, I could only dream. Learning a little bit more about Mikan, we hear that her family runs a citrus fruit and processed food business, and the reason why she had to move away was because, well, they used to have a factory plant here in this town, but it got destroyed, and so they had to move. And yeah, that's why she's not in this town anymore, but now she's here. In the scene with Anri and Momo, I'm glad that we've got a little less of Anri, but I will say her business prowess. She's got skills, that's for sure. At the very least, she's got skills in persuading her friends. She's out here selling meat, and Momo was just trying to go and buy some coupons for rice. She could have just bought them rice, but I guess the coupons, maybe they could redeem it at later times in case they, you know what, rice could still just sit around for a long time. So like, she doesn't even need to buy coupons, get coupons. Anyway, she could have just bought the rice. Okay, so as she was planning on doing that, Anri is just out there like, why don't you buy these beef instead? You want Yuko to get stronger, don't you? Which I find it very funny because initially she's supposed to be buying this. Hold on. She's supposed to be initially buying this for her mom and not like, hold on. Let's see. I'm trying to buy a gift for Shamiko's family. Yeah, so for the whole family, which in itself, right? Rice would be so much better just because... Even though the curse of, the 40,000 yen a month curse has technically been taken off, there's still some other curses that's placed around them, right? But then they're also living in this, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because, like, the curse is done now. I mean, if we saw Seiko's new fucking refrigerator. It's fucking sick. It's huge. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll talk a little bit more about their situational poverty or whatever. But I'm still in that like whole poverty mindset where it's like, yeah, it would be so much better to buy rice, but I guess they do have the refrigerator, and I guess they did kind of spend most of their beef on like the sukiyaki and having the party and stuff. Anyways, yeah, she's about to buy the rice. Anri's just like, don't you want Yuko to get stronger? And the way that she needs to get stronger is she needs fat in order to transform said fat into muscle. As I said, she knows how to persuade her friends to buying stuff, and also I would assume getting her sales up, because Jesus Christ, Momo bought so fucking much beef. That's going to boost her sales and probably get her, some good stuff from the place that she's working right now. And man, I love this whole idea of her buying the beef for the family. And Seiko is still so used in the poverty mindset that she doesn't even ponder about the idea that Momo bought this for her to use. She's only here like, whoa, you bought this and you're showing me this meat? Family, come out here. You need to take a look at this meat. She's really out here buying it, and she's so nice that she's showing us this meat that we'll never be able to buy. Rio's out here with a fucking camera ready to take a picture of it. In the kitchen, we see Momo, who wanted to help as well, but it seems like she's so bad at cooking that she can't even crack eggs properly. She cracked eggs and like somehow a sapling is growing out of it. I don't know, and it's like in a whole different color. How did that happen? Then again, we did see her making that protein shake. Oh, dude, that protein shake and the idea of her just putting in raw chicken and like she shook it so much that it warms itself up and it gets cooked. And it's like on like a whole different color and all that. And the only reason why Yuko's able to drink it and thinks that it's delicious was because she's had so much bad food in her stomach that like she's able to just down this and think that it's good. But we also saw her attempts at making hamburgers. Oh, sorry, not hamburgers, Hamburg steaks as well. So, Jesus Christ, you know, no wonder she's just out here only eating junk food whenever Yuko's not here cooking for her. Then again, what? She doesn't even need to like just buy junk food specifically. She could just buy. Japan, it's like, she could just go to a 7-Eleven and buy, like, a pre-made food there. And she could still somewhat have a balanced diet. Anyways, that's in the past now, I guess, right? Yuko's out here cooking for her now. And consider that they're all living in proximity of one another, they're gonna have a lot more family meals. Okay, so going to the whole spiel of Mikan putting lemon into it, everything, from what Momo says, I understand that she has good intentions, but if we're having sukiyaki, then I want it to taste salty sweet. Salty sweet. Not sour salty sweet. I guess it's already salty, so like if you put sour, it's gonna be a little bit too much. Understandable. And in terms of adding lemon into everything, God, relatable. I love salty and sour food, and especially, and I'm also the person who just loves putting peppers into everything. So like, if I ever cook for someone and like if they don't tell me outright that they're not good with spicy food, holy shit, I'm just like, I'm putting peppers into everything. I got this one little pepper. It's like a. They make it like dried pepper flakes, and it has like a variety of really hot peppers, ghost pepper being one of them. I love that shit. I put that in almost everything. And if you don't tell me that you're not good with spicy food, you're not gonna have a good time. Continuing with the food prep, we see that Momo has transformed into her magical girl. She transformed into her magical girl self just for this, just to put all the food onto the plate. Or put all the veggies onto the plate, right? And make it look nice and neat. And the fucking mushrooms out here glowing because she's putting so much power into it. And so we have Yuko, who realizes one of Momo's major weakness is that she's a perfectionist and that she wants to do it by herself. And so here we have this quote from Yuko where she says, "You need to have more trust in other people on a fundamental level." And that's a nice thing. That's the only thought in my head right now. It's a nice thing to say to Momo. But it's an understandable thing why Momo thinks that she has to take care of everything herself, because she's been living by herself for a very long time. She doesn't have parents, and her only sister at the time has vanished 10 years ago, so she's been living by herself for the past 10-ish years. So the only person that she can rely is herself, while we have Yuko, who is living with her family. She very much relies on her family, and she puts trust in her family to be able to do the things that she trusts them to do. And so I would assume that this is something that Momo is going to learn, especially now that they're going to, I assume, have more family meals together. She's living in proximity. This is something that I was thinking about since like the beginning of this whole series, where Momo is going to eat more with the family and start to learn the idea of, or relearn the idea of family, and having to put trust in other people, as with what Mikan says towards the end of all this, right? You need to open up more. If you've got beef with me, say it to my face. Which goes on to the, hold on, if I can find it. It goes on to this point where It used to be in season 1 when they have the whole transitioning thing. It used to be just Yuko and her family, and then it switches on over to Momo and Mikan. But now here in season 2, it's all of them together in one spot, eating the hot pot and everything. So I assume this is just them having more family meals together. How many times have I said family meals? Also, what the hell is this face that's on Lilith right now? What is this? Oh, dude, this plate of, like, meat and, like, I think the white, there's, like, little white crumbs on it, which I assume is salt. So it's just a little bit of salt, meat, and lemon. Oh! Dude, I when I go to Japanese barbecue and I get beef tongue, ooh, they cut beef tongue in like this very thin slice, and they give you like they pair it up with some lemon. Oh, it's so good, dude. You fucking fry it, you grill that up, and then you put a little lemon on it. Oh, it's so good, dude. This right here, just give me fucking beef, salt, and lemon. Also a little bit of pepper too. It's fucking great, fantastic. And then in this scene that I keep referencing, where Mikan tells Momo to not talk shit about her behind her back, we've got Yuko, who is just sneaking in some food. She's got a little bit of a, I don't know, a little bit of a smug expression. It's like, was she the one who told Mikan that Momo's been telling everybody about this? Or maybe it's just her coming in to sneak in some food, right? Because she had like 2 toothpick by the end of this. Wait, hold on. Yeah, she's had 2 toothpick, but she took like another one. But man, freaking Mikan's just out here just squeezing half a lemon. It's just straight into the peach juice, which, you know what? I'm not really sure. She did say that she only does it when she knows that it's something good. But she's like, peach juice tastes even better with some lemon in it. I don't know. I'm not really sure about the idea of... I feel like peach is something that I'd much prefer to keep alone by itself. There are some fruits that I very much enjoy by itself. Kind of like coconut. I don't like coconut with anything. Other than, like, Vietnamese desserts, but I feel like Vietnamese desserts is very synonymous with coconut milk. So that's one of the only ways that I'd eat coconut. Anything else that adds coconut, like fucking shrimp and coconut, I hate that shit. I do not like coconut on anything. And so the idea of peach, I like peach juices, but like I don't like it with added anything else. So the idea of peach juice and lemon, I don't know. I might try it once and then really depends, but again, I think peaches is something that is a lot better by itself. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it on this whole spiel. You know, I feel like I should have started this with characters instead of going from beginning to end, but just because in terms of like chapters and stuff, but it's alright. It's alright. As I said, I thought this was a good opener. There's this other thing that I've mentioned, right? I don't like the whole thing of the voices having the voices being like the sound effects. I don't like that. They did that whole thing with the beef stuff where they keep showing the beef and they keep sounding this man who just, says kahwam. And then they showed this like 3 or 4 times, and it was just like, okay, whatever. I don't really care. So they're really coming in strong with like the vocal sound effects, and like I'm not a big fan of it. It distracts me, but I don't think it distracted me as much in this episode. I think I just had a bigger problem because they kind of was doing that in the same episodes where they were showing us scenes that should have felt a little bit more serious, and then they continue to have the vocal sound effects not in like the same scene as the serious stuff, but like it was still feeling it still felt like it was just that it had a presence during these episodes that I felt like should have been a little bit more serious, or at least should have showed it after said serious scenes and stuff. But yeah, that's still my gripe about this whole with the whole vocal sound effects. Not really my thing. and I'm still having trouble reading through the subtitles. God, there's just so much that's happening, and then the vocal sound, the vocals doesn't really help either, because like it just fills in with all the other subtitles, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Like the point where they were talking about Yuko's, it wasn't actually, no, that part wasn't with the vocal sound effects, but it was just a lot of stuff was happening on site. I was getting overstimulated, and like with Yuko's goal is I kind of just gave up on reading the entire thing, and I just wrote down the timestamp, and I was just like, yeah, I'll read it later. I'll write it down later too. But I'm glad Mikan was there for me to be like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck you were talking about. But yeah, again, other than that, thought this was a nice opening for season 2, and I'm excited to see this goals list going on, and again, this cat girl that's appearing. And at first I thought that was like the same white hair girl that's like that Lilith takes over in terms of like the body and such. I was just at first I thought that was it, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, you know. But then I see her full size, and I was just like, is this, I don't know, it actually could just be a fox girl now I think about it. Alright, I said I wasn't going to look at the opening, but now here I am. She also, I mean, okay, at first too, I thought that she's a fox girl. She's not a cat girl. I just realized. Yeah, it's the tail is the one that gives it away that's a fox girl. Anyways, at first I was looking at her and I was just like, is this just Momo in cosplay? But then I see Momo in the back over here. So, I don't know, maybe this is a coworker just from looking at this. But who knows? The opening very much showcases this in like a very not fantasy-like, I don't know. It not fantasy-like, but there's definitely is more like chibi characters and stuff. I just realized, is that Ogura right there? Anyways, but yeah, the little fox girl. I don't know. I assume that she's like a coworker that Yuko's going to get a job or something, a new job. Anyways, we'll just have to find out when we see it, but. Hopefully she is a whole different character, so that's going to be fun once we see her. But until then, I'm running out of breath. Okay, if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.